What up, world? Super Fact Show, Super Fast Network. Today we got with us Flint's Las Vegas own Dizzy Wright on the heels of just releasing a string of spectacular music. He's got a new song with Xzibit, 24 Hours, a new song with Be Real, and a man named Devin, Promoter. One of the best weed anthems I've heard in a long time. How you doing today, brother?
Bless.
So, first off, I heard I was doing a lot of research. I don't want to not say someone's name. Usually I give them credit, but you've been doing a lot of media. I heard on someone's podcast or interview that you made a lot of this new project you got coming out at Xzibit's studio. And I'm just curious, what's the logistics on that? Like, how does that improve the project? How did that come to be? I mean, I know just being able to bounce your music off Xzibit in and of itself must be valuable.
Actually, in that podcast, I was telling them that I recorded The Growing Process, my album, The Growing Process, in Xzibit Studio.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that was back in 2015.
Bro, I'll be listening on them shits at 3.5 times speed. I probably missed it. My apologies.
Oh, no, it's all good. Like, I was just saying, back then, like, shit, I didn't feel like I could come up with anything hard enough for Xzibit. And, I'm still in the stages of like, I've been doing this for 10 years, but I still like writing all my shit, and like, I still write all my shit. I don't bring writers in to like help with the hooks or like with my verses or nothing like that. And I know that like, the fans don't really give a fuck about that anymore. Like, or probably ever. I feel like, in hip hop, people have always brought people in that help them have the biggest records. But I just kind of been in my own world, just creating things from my mind. You know what I'm saying? So if I feel like I can't put my finger on it, really create something for an artist, I'm not going to force it, I just feel like I'm not going to stop in the time to come. So for this 24 hours with Xzibit, it's the first time where I just came across some shit and I was working on it and I was like, damn, I can hear X on this. Like, this hard enough for him. You know what I'm saying? Most of my shit is like poetic shit. I didn't get into this music industry off of hip hop shit. Like, I got into it off of some like poetry shit and just put my poetry on beats and shit. That's why my style kind of the way it is. You know what I'm saying? But as I'm growing into an artist and now, I'm wanting to accomplish bigger records and like, some harder shit, like it's dope to still be able to pull the legends in and, they give me some fire shit, it makes me feel like, proud of like the work that I put in and, it makes me want to keep going,
Hey, you should be, brother. You original. That in and of itself is almost impossible. And I feel like the true dream isn't like having the world bow down at your feet. It's if you love making music, being able to have that as your only career over the course of your life. Like I feel like if a musician can get that, they're truly successful.
Word. And I've been blessed. Word.
I mean, yeah, you've been blessed, but you've also earned that. Because like when you were talking about the way you were phrasing, I finally got a song that I felt was hard enough for X. You think you might got a little bit of imposter syndrome, brother? Because you shouldn't. You belong like a motherfucker. You better than 98% doing it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I think I just like I like growing into like the artist that I feel like I'm eventually, be, the legacy that I'm gonna leave. I still feel like I got a lot more, and I just feel like sometimes we come in the game and we just try to rush everything. And like I feel like my shit's just been an organic growth and I like it. You know what I'm saying? So I think I'm just cool with the slow growth, with the slow grind, and I just appreciate every step that's happening. You know what I'm saying?
Word. I usually try to make this show either like a celebration or a discussion. So I hardly ever bring any negativity into it. So we're going to be real broad with this and not say no names. But can I ask you, did any business situations dampen your creative spirit?
Nah, I mean, my creative like
Output.
output, like my creative vision, like it nothing on the business side has ever like made me not want to create, or like, you know, it just shift my thinking, like where I don't want to be, where, you know, I felt like I was on a mission. I had a mission I was like trying to accomplish or whatever. And now my mental was a little thrown off, and I felt the shift in the music, you know? So it's really just about finding that balance and remembering the message and the vibe and the legacy that I want to leave, and just have fun with the shit, you know, and not be trying to be so serious about, you know, or just allowing the things that are serious in life to just be to become negative in my music. Like,
Right.
I'm complaining about the things that are serious, or the things that might be throwing me off. Like, that's not really the vibe that I wanted to throw out to people. Like, I wanted people to realize that, you know, there's similarities between, you know, just humans in general, you know, and painting those pictures, but not allowing myself to like use my voice to like, you know, bring people down without knowing, you know? So, you know, I just felt like not being in a dark space, you know, while I'm doing music, and always trying to find that light and then create in that light, you know, and not in that dark.
You know, probably in that same podcast, or maybe in another one, you said something about 2015 didn't meet your expectations. So let me ask you the generic question real quick. What advice would you give to an artist who had a year that they didn't feel met their expectations? But I got something else about that too.
Always, I mean, to me, I feel like you gotta always think about, how can my year be better than last year, right? Like, how can I, you know, even if you consistent in a lane, like, how can I kick it up a little bit? Like, do I gotta send more emails? Do I gotta do this? Do I gotta do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, my year in 2015 was a solid year, you know what I'm saying? But as CDs like dismantled, and
Right.
you know, it became all streaming, you know what I'm saying? I missed that window, that last window, to be able to do it big, like how it was promised to me. So, you know, there was kind of like never another time to do it like that again, because the shit started fading out. So I mean, you're gonna have little things like that that might like, you might be like, I thought my year was gonna be better. Like, if I had dropped my shit in Walmart, Best Buy, whoopty wop, it would have been better. But like, the learning experience sometimes is a little better than what you think is gonna make your year.
Definitely.
Uh,
That's good.
shit.
If you got another call, the screen just turned black, but I can still hear you.
Okay, cool. Here we go.
All right, so that's a great piece of advice. But you know, when I heard you say that, that made me think of, because you know, the little research I did today ain't all I've been aware. I ain't going front. I had no idea you would release so many motherfucking albums. I was like, damn, I've been slipping. I knew about like 8 of them, Jones. You got like 20 on Spotify alone. Lord knows what I would have found on that piff. But
yeah, word.
But one thing that always struck out or stuck out to me, excuse me, was the story of your senior year in high school. I just find to be so inspirational. And so if you wouldn't mind, would you share that? And how often do you refer back to that? And like because if I had gone that hard when things were down for me, I feel like I could always refer back to, yo, I got that in me, and use that to push through. You feel me?
Yeah, it's always been something that was like in the back of my mind. There's a few things that, like, you know, happened when I was growing up that I was just like, you know, it's in me, it's not on me. You know what I'm saying? But like, back when I was in high school, yeah, man, back when I was in high school, my mom's kicked me out, and I got a little studio apartment by my high school right before my senior year started. And yeah, man, I walked to school every day. In order to graduate, you know, I didn't have my credits in order because, you know, me and my family moved around a lot. So like a lot of my credits and shit got fucked up. And on top of that, I didn't get the best grades when I was in school, you know? So, but the main thing, bro, is that like, you know, I felt like I was starting my adulthood. And, you know, I ain't had no car at the time. Didn't know when I was going to have a car. Didn't really see a car in my future at the time. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And you was going to like night school and all that, right?
Yeah, so like
That's
the
hard as fuck
motivation
without a car, man. Like going to regular school, there's buses and shit running, but night school, shit, that takes dedication without a car.
yeah, you gotta take that public transportation, man. The motivation though, like I don't know if you ever been to Vegas in the summer, like,
I'm not.
but it's hot as fuck. Like anybody
sure.
that's from Vegas,
I seen Hard Knocks, bro. The Raiders.
Yeah, they know in the summer it gets stupid hot. So like when I was a senior, you know, the motivation was just like, yo, if I can't graduate like high school with the rest of my class, I'm not coming back to high school. I'm gonna go get my GED. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't about to go to school just to go to school and then have to go to summer school. Summer school wasn't in the play. You know what I'm saying? It's too fucking hot and I ain't had no car. And I would have had to walk to that bus stop and all that shit. And that shit just was, I was like, that was the motivation though. You know what I'm saying? And like,
hey, it all comes down to logistics, brother. That's a hell of a good reason for a motivation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, word. Motherfucker did not want to do no summer school in the summer in Las Vegas where I knew I would have to catch the bus. Fuck that, right? So, I mean, but in order to graduate high school, you know, I had to work extremely hard. Like they gave me an early class. I had my 6 classes, and then I had 4 night school classes. I had an after school class, and then I had 3 night school classes. And, you know, I would go to school early, leave school late, walk to the bus stop, catch it to night school, be there all night, catch the bus back home every day, all year. Get home, leave the crib like 5, get home like 9 all week, you know?
And that's rough. Like, you a better man than me. I would probably never went to school, been having parties, and the most legal thing we would have been selling out there would have been bootleg Faces of Death VHS shit.
The word, nah, I feel you though. I feel you. You know, like I got an older brother. My older brother didn't make the best decisions. He was in and out of juvie, in and out of jail. Kind of showed me everything that I shouldn't be doing. You know what I'm saying? But like,
word.
Also, when I just got to an age, bro, where I was kind of like, my mind was open. I was so willing to learn. You know what I'm saying? And I started to turn and like look at like my family, you know, and who was successful and what we had done. And it wasn't a lot to be inspired by. So, you know, for me, I was like, man, if I could at least graduate high school, at least that's something, right? I'm like, yo, at least, man, you know, that's something. Cause like a lot of people in my family dropped out of school, you know what I'm saying? Had trouble with the law. My older brother and my father, you know what I'm saying? So really, I just kind of looked at that shit and kind of seen like, yo, shit, that's probably what it's gonna be for me if I get into that life. So I might as well just try to like tighten up on this shit, you know? But I think that like really jump started my whole ability to be able to like stay committed and stick to something, you know? And like,
that's what's up. Cause
I kind of never steered from the independent route or the independent like thinking, you know what I'm saying? I've been consistent with it since I started this shit. And I think it like really started from like all that work I put in my senior year to like get through that year.
Man, I believe that. So like I don't want to offend you or nothing, but probably right around that time, or I don't know, I came home from you know being locked up and all that shit, and I ain't have too much internet experience, and I gravitated toward the internet solely as a means of finding rap music. Like I was in the DC area, I'd hear shit about Mac Dre, but I had no conduit to get it because it was like you said, it was CDs and shit, but way before 2015. You feel me? So
Yeah.
I, I I ain't have no MySpace page because I thought that shit was kind of weird. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't even know about the ability to upload your own music on that. The whole point I'm saying this is, you know, I ain't want to offend you shitting on the MySpace shit, but I
No,
remember
no, not at all.
I remember somebody pulled me to the side and you know, like on like an old ass phone on like a Razor or some shit, and that they had downloaded like these Jones. It was like you freestyling. I want to say almost over, maybe even like a pack div beat or some shit, but I don't know. But I remember I'd heard of you well before the freshman cover, and a roundabout way of saying this, are those MySpace freestyles available anywhere? Because like I saw those shits move some motherfucker in Virginia in like 2011 or 12 in a way that you wouldn't believe. This girl was just always going around like, you should listen to this Dizzy Wright guy, and had them Jones downloaded on her phone. And I remember it was like a Sicer. I'm gonna sound old as shit, but she had like the post. I think it was like polyphonic when the ringtone sounded real instead of like video gamish and shit.
Yeah, bro. To be honest, some of that MySpace day shit, man, I don't know where that shit is at, bro. I'll be honest with you. That's how I was introduced to the internet. Like through MySpace. Like, you know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers was like, you could upload music. And I was like, what you mean? Like you could upload, you could put like your music on your page. And like
that shit was revolutionary, bro. I don't even think they know.
Yeah, for me, for me, I was just kind of like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody in the world like can hear your shit, like on your page, like from anywhere. Like I thought that shit was incredible. You know what I'm saying? Like, and when I got on it, to be honest, when I got on it, I was just like rapping over other people's shit and just kind of like throwing it up there. I just wanted to show people, you know, the style that I had. Like, and to be honest, like I was throwing parties and shit at the time. And like I was making music for the parties, but I wasn't uploading it on the internet. You know what I'm saying? Like at this time, I'd never been on YouTube. Like I had a MySpace for about 2 years and had never been on YouTube. Like nobody had ever told me about YouTube or any of that. I was just literally finding all this shit on MySpace. I was like mind blown when I found out that YouTube was all like videos. This shit was all brand new to me. Like, you know, in my house, we ain't had no computer. We ain't have like a bunch of shit that like kept us up to date with like the shit that was going on. You know, I saw a lot of music videos on television and shit like that.
Yep.
In the morning before school and then after school on 106 in Park. You know what I mean? And like, I think just getting on the internet and being able to drop those MySpace just gave me the motivation I needed. But I never thought about like saving the files and shit like that and like all of the shit that you're supposed to do as an artist, because I wasn't really thinking about like being a real artist back then. I was just
send the Dizzy signal out on social media. I guarantee at least somebody got them shits on a hard drive somewhere.
Right. Yeah, you're probably right. Shit, I couldn't get to the motherfuckers. I was like, damn, how I get these motherfuckers?
Because it was definitely cats that knew how to rip people's MySpace page, because you heard that shit about like, well, we ain't gonna say no names, but major artists ripping songs off people's MySpace page and redoing them shits.
Oh yeah, I do remember hearing about that. Yeah, you're right. Somebody probably got that shit. Somebody gonna see this shit and probably be like, man, let me put that shit out.
Hey, you just mentioned backstage. I mean, 106 in Park. What's backstage at 106 in Park like?
It was cool, man. Shit, just regular ran television shit, bro. Like everything is just
I guess I was a little regular to you at the time since you had done that interviewing cats at the BET Awards and all that, huh?
yeah, but I mean it wasn't like
Every day.
Yeah, no, it wasn't every day, but even like when we was at 106 in Park, you know, they just put us in like a little room, gave us some little water, you know, it was cool. It was just like, we wasn't the only one performing, you know, we
Right.
did a Wild Out Wednesday segment. So there was 2 other artists that was performing. So it was cool, man. You know, we was just trying to win.
Nah, I can dig it. So did like AJ and Free come visit you before the shit and all that shit? Did you have any interaction?
Actually, nah, it wasn't AJ and Free when I went.
Oh, it's Terrence J
And Roxy.
yeah, Roxy. I wonder,
Yeah.
I wonder what happened to Roxy.
Yeah.
What happened to Roxy? She's still doing stuff?
Shit, hell if I know, man. Hell if I know.
Yeah, maybe she found her a Saudi.
She got to be on the gram somewhere. Like,
yeah,
probably just Google Roxy from 106 Park. She come up on the gram. You'd be like, damn, she been right here the whole time, posting pictures, videos.
I know. And shit, fuck around. She probably man. The way it should be these days. She probably done released an R&B video that got 100 million views.
Probably.
I saw some shit that's like over 100,000 people in the world that got videos with 100 million views.
For real?
Yeah, I mean some shit like that. It's on that Social Dilemma documentary. They say that shit. Like that shit's a lot less special than you would think.
Right. Yeah. No, 100%.
Like you could have that and like no one recognizes you anywhere, and except your social media account. You feel me? But
that's very true.
You know, speaking of that time at the BET Awards, you know, you interviewed a bunch of people, and I'm sure I saw a little bit of clips. You was pretty fucking young, so did any of them stick out to you? And like, were you even aware of who they all were as artists?
Yeah. There were some people that I wasn't aware of. But yeah, I was pretty aware.
You definitely ain't know everybody in the St. Lunatics name. I know that much. I mean, maybe you did at the time, but like,
yeah, St. Lunatics was, you know, they was all on TV and shit like that. Like, you know, it's really some of the older artists, like the artists that was like booming in those times, like, you know, Nelly and like Murphy Lee and all them niggas, the St. Lunatics, them niggas was hot.
Yeah.
You know, them niggas had the streets on fire, nigga. I would see them niggas on TV, on 106, that type of shit.
Ali.
But
Tyrese.
I was familiar with Nate Dogg, but I wasn't familiar with Nate Dogg as like much as I am now. Like,
word.
You know, I was really too young to even understand everything. Like, it was like shit that I even at those times, like I was listening to these artists, but like I was like taking in the lyrics differently than how they was dishing it out. I remember going back and listening to some of that shit and being like, damn.
Nah, I feel you, bro.
This thing was breaking it down. God damn, I didn't even realize.
I feel you. But it's like if you never sold drugs and then 5 years later you've been moving coke for 4 years, you got a total different understanding of Young Jeezy.
Right, exactly, 100%.
So you know, this. I mean, I don't think it'd be hyperbolic to call it an onslaught. This onslaught of new music, is this leading up to a project?
Yes, it is. Disneyland with me and DJ Hopper.
And when should we be on the lookout for that?
It's coming soon, man. We're about to announce the date. Shit, here in a few days. But it's coming soon, man. We just wanted people to like tap into the songs, the records, you know what I'm saying? I'll probably drop maybe like 2 more records and then I'll probably give y'all the whole project. But I think just doing a good job with like, you know, bringing an eye to some of these records. I feel like over the last couple years, I've been doing some dope records that I feel like people missed. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of because, you know, I drop a single or two, and then I'm like, they can listen to the record on the album. That's how it kind of was when I first got in the game. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
People would like, you know, leave some of them records for the album so the fans can go and really enjoy that once they get that first listen. You know, now it's really it's real different, you know, like you say, you just said something crazy. It's over 100,000 people or 100 million people with over 100 million views. It's like so much going on. It's so many artists. Everybody's dope. Everybody's creative. Can't knock nobody's hustle. Like, this is just what it's grown to, you know? But I'm still like I still like to give my music a home. Like, I still like to give the fans like a body of work, you know, so, you know, as time continues to go on and they go back and listen to that project, you know, it take them back to them times. That's what I appreciate about like some of my favorite albums that I listen to and go back, kind of take me back to that time and, you know, remind me of how I was feeling, either where I don't want to go back to or reminding myself of where I'm headed, you know?
Nah,
so
I feel you, bro.
Yeah, but, you know, making sure that they actually hear, you know, these records and, you know, they're not getting lost in the sauce because there's so much going on, you know? And I'm not a shock value rapper, so I'm not going to jump online and like start fake beefing or causing drama or talking shit or, you know, just doing anything weird to try to get attention on my music. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm keeping it G no matter what. I'm just gonna keep cooking and putting it out, but just, you know, making sure that they hear like the records with the B-reels.
You ain't exaggerating though. Like on your Spotify page, if you do that little selection for like singles and EPs, man, I mean, some of them are jumps you're featured on, but on your page from 20 to 2022, I mean, that is just, and those, I noticed almost all of them are songs that aren't on albums. That is just an outstanding run of music, and you're right. Like, more people do need to hear it. So I totally get what you're coming from. You know, a lot of people say that shit and they got some generic ass trying to be on the radio sounding ass shit. But I was impressed. Like, you know, like I think I told you earlier, I was very familiar with your work, but I didn't realize you put out like 20 albums and shit. And just listening to that run of the songs from 20 to 2022. I mean, I see the growth as an artist, but also the ability to just get on all different types of songs. Like, and I don't think you can say this about most people. I don't think that there's a artist in music that you couldn't do a song with.
Very true.
And unless it was like, you know, for some sort form of, you know, personal reason or something, you know.
Right. Yeah. No. Yeah. I think I could probably get down with everybody.
Yeah. I mean, that's a rare gift. A rare gift. I can't think of like 10 people I've ever even thought that, but that thought's even crossed my mind before. Usually I only think of that with people like, you know, like, I don't know, like Kanye West or Prince or some shit, you know?
Or appreciate that.
Shit, I mean, tell the truth, shame the devil. But speaking of all them albums, would you think I was tripping if I told you the First Agreement's my favorite? I don't think it's your best album, but it's probably the one I've listened to the most.
No, I wouldn't think you're tripping at all.
How about, when's the last time you listened to that?
I actually cracked some of those songs open shit about a week ago. You know, I'm going on my 10-year anniversary. You know what I'm saying?
I thought they aged well. What'd you think?
I think they aged well too. Of course, you know, I hear how I could have been more polished and I could have done things a little better. You know, for me, I used to like to go in there and like make sure I kicked my verse the whole time, like straight through, you know, every single time. I never liked to punch in or shit like that, you know what I'm saying? So I would be in there doing a verse however many times it took until I got it straight through. And then, you know, as I was in the game longer, I realized that like the fans don't give a fuck about that shit. Like, they just want the shit to sound the best that it can fucking sound whether you punching it in or you doing whatever the fuck you doing, you know. So my approach to that album and like, you know, what inspired me to do that project, you know, there was a certain type of energy that I wanted to dish out. And like, if you can feel that energy, it's a nice energy to keep in your corner, you know, when you ever feel some type of way or you feel like you need a little something to help get you out of funk. That's what it was for.
Word, man. Damn, that was a very profound way of saying it. What's all your socials, brother?
Yo, they can find me on Instagram, Dizzy Hippie with a Y. And then Dizzy Wright everything. YouTube, Dizzy Wright, Facebook, Dizzy Wright, Twitter, Dizzy Wright, Wright with a W.
Spotify,
Spotify,
Apple Music, everywhere.
Yeah, Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere that you like to listen to your music, you know, you could type in my name and I'm pretty sure something to pop up for you. But I got shit for everybody in every mood. So just go ahead and dive in and enjoy yourself.
Hey, that man ain't never lied. Make sure y'all check out his new song Promoters with a man named Devin and Be Real, and 24 Hours with Xzibit, and the album on the way. Thank you for your time, brother, and stay on real quick.